Welcome to the show. This is the Tooly Doo, the podcast. This is your boy E. Ali. We in the building. Uh, we in the process of putting this thing down, man, making it really official. This is a pre-recording of the show. I'm giving Facebook a chance to, doing it live, going live with the on the book, you know. Nevertheless, the Tooly Doo podcast. This your boy E.I. Lee. We in the Toledo, Ohio, 45 minutes outside of Detroit, south of Detroit, 75. That's significant. Our location, you know. Um, that's one of the things that make Toledo special as well, because we can get places, like Cleveland, Detroit, Columbus, Indianapolis, Chicago. You know, we can actually go to Chicago. We could actually go to Detroit and Chicago in the same day driving. That's how significant our location is. But yeah, I'd like to welcome y'all to the show, man. This your boy E.I. Lee. I'm your host, E.I. Lee. We in the building. This is the back thing of on live Facebook, the pre-show. Um, but nevertheless, we'd be doing the editing and then, taking it from there. But nevertheless, this your boy, man, E.I. Lee in the city. The podcast, man. It's gonna be creative, a conversation just on some of the topics that we face in our community. Try to make light of some of the things that we go through. You know what I'm saying? Um, Definitely to try to hammer some of the serious issues that we face. Just recently, we've been facing, or previously in the last few years of COVID, but we always somewhat had a gun problem, killing, murders. You know what I mean? Definitely a lot of them unsolved. You know what I'm saying? If you look at some of the murders that didn't happen throughout our city, some of the names, you know, it's there's a lot of murders that's gone unsolved, especially for what we consider um, known individuals. You know what I mean? And I don't want to get into it right now, but people know. So, but nevertheless, this podcast will definitely be facing, uh, dealing with some of those topics, some of those issues. Trying to find definitely solutions to those problems. Um, I think it's all of our problems, because I mean, we all been affected by someone or somebody close to us, or even somebody in our family who has committed some of those crimes. So we deal with it as a community from both sides, and it's painful. You know what I mean? I know individuals from both sides. You know what I mean? Some who has committed crime, and then some who has been victims, or family members have been victims. And it's heartbreaking to be in a community such as Toledo, so small, and know somebody to know somebody, and then know somebody who have done that, or know somebody who's the victim of that. You know what I mean? And it's heartbreaking, and it's time for us to make a change. This is not the way that it's not the Toledo way. That's not the way that things should be, or no, or should we accept it? You know what I mean? we all have a right, or we all have a obligation to speak up. You know what I mean? Um, to definitely encourage those who are going down the negative path to try to, choose a different path. You know what I mean? Do something different. You know what I mean? Try to encourage your loved ones to do something that other than. You know what I mean? The one thing is that in Toledo, man, I love Toledo because for me, I grew up here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I had my first kiss. I lost my virginity here. You know what I mean? I shot my first jump shot. You know what I'm saying? Um, just it's a lot of memories, school memories, the good times of junior high school, you know what I mean, growing up, and then, then it's a the one thing that I guess that bothers me about always Toledo, man, it's been this I guess more emphasis on street life and the street culture. You know what I mean? The way of, trying to get it out of the street, trying to get it out of the mud, so to speak. You know what I mean? Off the block. You know what I mean? When it's so many of us that's talented that if we use our our God given talent, our our mental, our intelligence, our charisma, you know what I mean, our imagination, and just use a little dedication and focus and then get around some individuals who think like you know what I mean? That's the most part. But the thing that's painstaking is that we commit to the streets too early here. You know what I mean? Like like people commit to the streets here like at early, like 14, like 14, like too early, 14, 15. You know what I mean? And I mean, I can say I was one of those who at 15 who had made that conscious choice of, you know, getting to the streets, and I suffered from that. You know, I remember I was like 15, man. It was like during the crack era when, you know, when you could actually see cats that was on the street that looked like the guys on. They didn't even look like guys on TV. Man, these dudes was looking like the guys, the first guys I seen looked like rappers, man. They was in our neighborhoods. You know what I mean? From the Keith Cooks, Money Wise, Gary, oh man, Gary Hill, you know what I mean? Like I say, the Frysons. I mean, it was cats like cats Blake, you know what I mean? And I don't mean to throw guys' names out there in vain. I'm throwing guys' names out there with a highly thing of respect. But this is what I saw. These is the names I heard when I seen them, and they looked fabulous to me, man. You know what I mean? I remember seeing these guys, man. You know, so and it was that was the thing, you know. It was I remember reading or just like reading the papers. It was a group up in Detroit called the I think they was the YBIs, Young Boys Incorporated or something like. Yeah, they was in Young Boys Incorporated. You know what I mean? And these cats was getting money. You know what I mean? And the next cats I seen close to them, man, out of respect, man, was like just hearing about it, man, was them Fryson boys. You know what I mean? They was running an operation like similar to them, and I was trying to get to them cats. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, just things happened that it didn't. But nevertheless, I ended up just doing some other things, getting in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, we grew up knuckleheads, man, at the boys club. You know, my first, my first, my first bite at, bite at the, taking a bite at crime. You know what I'm saying? Was at the boys club, so to speak. You know, going over there to Swain Field and the Kroger's, getting caught stealing in Kroger's, trying to knock a box of Debbie's. You know what I'm saying? Coming up out of there with Laquan Wilson. You know what I'm saying? He ended up getting away, but they nabbed me. You know what I mean? And what was so motherfucking crazy, y'all. I, I got home. My mama came up and got me, beat my ass, sent me to bed. About time I get in the bed, about time she finished whipping my ass, bro. She get another call, and my brother Chris got his ass caught up there the same day, an hour and a half after me, man. You know what I'm saying? That was some crazy ass shit, bro. But everybody that went to the boys club, all of us that went up there got caught stealing for the most part. A lot of us. You know what I'm saying? And my thing was like, it wasn't no intervention, no from Kroger's to the boys club. You would have thought a relationship would have been formed or something about, you know, or on the lookout for that. But instead, man, they was giving us petty thefts. You know what I mean? And there was a lot of us that it was, man, I'm sure back in the day, man, back then, man, I'm quite sure if you look at the numbers, look at the receipts, do an audit of that, I guarantee you it's probably 5 or 6 people getting caught up there a day, man. Easy. Easy, bro. You know, that was them days. But, you know, I like I said, I made a commitment, and it was like seeing them guys, man, and it was the streets. You know, back then it was crazy, man. Like just the money. I guess the one thing that made a different flow in the money when you had the government assistance with GI, GR, General Assistance, I think it was called, or something like that. But nevertheless, everybody at age 18 to whoever, everybody received like $100 and $100 in stamps. So that means you got everybody out here 18 and whatever, with this $100 given for, you know, from the feds, you know, and stamps. And so you got a lot of people that's irresponsible, kicking and hanging out, and they blowing that money. And whoever had a sense of money then was capitalizing on that. You know what I mean? And early on, I mean not early on, but you know, after I got back from Tico, you know, from doing you know, you know, got caught up in some robbery and a felonious assault. You know what I'm saying? I think I was going to Woodward then, freshman year or something, man. They came and got me up out of school, you know, just turned 15, went to Tico, did like 21 months for a felonious assault and a robbery or some shit like that. You know, just wilding out, B. You know what I'm saying? So that was the life. You know what I mean? That's what I thought was accepted. You know what I mean? That's what you get when a kid is growing up without guidance, without a father. You know, being strongly influenced from television, being, you know, wanting to be a gangster. You know what I mean? You know, that's trying to be tough. You know, and it wasn't until I was like 20, I think I was like 21, man, my last little bit, I got caught up in Michigan, and I went up to Michigan, and I went through the Michigan penal system. But I had got caught with like some drug abuse, slanging some yak. On the block back then, it was popular to just say, you know, I was using for the most part to evade prosecution of being a seller. everybody was saying, I used, so you didn't get charged with um, selling and shit, because it was two different cases then. If they knew you was selling, you was getting a whole hell of a time. But if you were saying you was using, then they would try to say, okay, well, treatment and send you to rehab and all that kind of shit. So a lot of guys early on, slanging the bag that got caught, was using that form of using that tactic to evade prosecution from being a seller. But nevertheless, man, um, went to did that little time or whatever. Um, what I think I where I went to. I went to CRC. So I went through CRC. Then I go through where they sent me. They sent me Jamie Rivers. I was up there with Rob RB, Chat Daddy, Skip, James Moore, Big Boo, me, Big Boo. It was me, Big Boo, James Moore, Jamie Rivers. Who else was it? It was somebody. We went to Marion Honor Camp. That shit was crazy. But the one thing that we did, us four, like, because we rode in together, coming from, just coming from the city, me, Moore, whatever. We made sure we showered together. We was young cats, and they, that's when that phrase they give you when you green, that come from the penitentiary. When they say you green in the penitentiary, when you under 18, they give, when you 18 and under, they give, no, 21 and under, I think it was. But nevertheless, no, your first time in the joint, they give you, if it's when your first time in the joint, your badge is green. You got a green, your number on your first time there, you got a green badge or whatever. And so that's where that phrase come, talking about you green and shit. It come from that. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, we was in, it was rough there. So basically it was everybody was in a dorm. It was like 100 and some odd cats in a dorm. Wow. You go to the shower and it was, you know what I'm saying? You ain't know nobody, so we made sure every time, like this shit was so, it was so crazy then. We if whoever went and took a shit, we had to go get one another. Like I had to go get Jamie or whoever was up next. Like, come on, nigga. And he had to watch my back while I take a shit. He go stand off in the cut and make sure, ain't no violation, and vice versa. When we went to shower, we all went to shower together, just cause, hey, we making sure we guarding our manhood. Because in them spots, man, you get jumped, you will get jumped. And that's one thing I know about the penitentiary, man. And for real, that's why I knew I had to stay up out of that shit, because anybody can be violated. Anybody can be violated. If you got three, four, five, six cat grabbing on one guy, everybody grab a leg, an arm, two cats grab, one cat grab your arm, one cat grab this arm and your leg, and one cat grab your head. Anybody can get taken down. I don't give a fuck who you think you is. You know what I'm saying? So you can get violated. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, what you gonna do after the violation? You know what I'm saying? And so with that being said, with the temperament, or with the possibility of that, and always, or the threat of always having to kill somebody or be killed, man, I wasn't with going into them penitentiaries until I went up to I thought I was a tough guy. I take that. I thought I was a tough guy coming through the Michigan. Coming through the Ohio penitentiary system. Because it was somewhat like the way they got their set up is kind of like like I don't they just softer, so to speak. Now when I go up, and that's just going through CRC, it's set up like a college dorms. They set up like college campuses. When I went through Michigan and you got to go through that Jackson Penitentiary, the biggest wall penitentiary in the country, that changed my thoughts of my toughness, bro. I ain't want no more. When you got cell blocks that's 30, look like 30 tiers high, and a football and a half long, that's a cell block. Packed. I'm talking about brothers packed in there, B. Because in Michigan you got Detroit and you got Flint and you got, you know what I mean? It's a you see where the prison industrial complex is connected to the slavery thing. Ain't no way all them brothers should be in there like that, man. That's all I thought. But that was one of the places I ran into some cats that was tougher than me. They pushed the envelope further than me, bro. I didn't want to be in there forever. Now if you think if you want to be in there forever, smell the see, because the one thing about penitentiary, it's a certain smell that's in there with all the men stacked in there all day, all together like that. It's just it's a stench smell. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to explain, but hey, nevertheless, man, to run into situations or run into some brothers who will take it further than you, you know what I'm saying? Who want to be in here. See, I didn't want to be there. I want to be free. You know, this ain't a place where I wanna resign. You know, I wanna come home. So I'm not that tough. You know, I don't want to kill, but I'm not gonna get violated. So when you see that damn, I could get if the possibility of getting violated, and then your manhood taking you to, well, shit, if I got violated, now I gotta kill 2, 3. I gotta kill any one of these cats I can get my hand to. I'm killing it. If I can get him, I'm killing them. I'm trying to kill all of them. If I didn't got violated, that's how your mind think. You would have to think. I'm thinking in terms of. I mean, that's how I feel. If I had got violated, I already know it was over. I ain't never coming home. I ain't never coming home. So that's why in them kind of situations and knowing the threat of that, knowing the threat that you might have to kill or somebody kill you, them ain't the places I want to be, man. So that's why I tone that tough shit down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I used to run around here think I was tough, a tough guy. You know what I'm saying? That shit ain't cool when you go sit on them bunks. See, because my mama didn't raise me that way. That's one thing I knew. My mama didn't raise me to be in the penitentiary. I love my mama. My aunties. I love my aunties and shit like that. You know what I mean? I didn't have uncles that ran up on me and punched me and try to make you tough and all. I know. I was raised by my mom and her sisters. You know what I mean? I'm a little bit more sensitive to a woman. You know what I mean? And I guess for me, and that's how I think I found myself in the penitentiary too. Because and my podcast is definitely going to try to focus on single mothers with these boys, because I was the older brother of a single mother, and when you in that kind of situation, for me, just looking at it, you kind of like a mama's boy, you know what I'm saying? And with that being said, you kind of sensitive a little bit. Boys that's raised by women, mainly just all women, they more sensitive. So when you get out here in the streets and a dude say something to you, you sensitive, and then now you want to act tough because he done hurt your feelings, and you sensitive in a sense because you done been raised by women. Because if you was raised by men or raised by around men talk a certain way, and so men talk tough. But if you raised by a single mom and a man get to talking tough, you might internalize that as he trying to play me. So I gotta prove myself. You know what I mean? That's where I found when I had and see it and the only reason why I've been able to escape from going back and forth because it's been over 20 some odd years. I got close to almost coming up on 30 years. Hold on, I take that back. I got close to 20, at least 25, close to 25 years. I got out of 25. Yeah, I got like 25 years since I've been to the penitentiary. You know what I mean? And the only thing I done been locked up for, or since then, I think I got locked up twice for child support or something like that. I think take that back. Me and my baby mama got into it. Both of them got into it. You know, I got into it with my baby mama a couple of times. You know, again, that being sensitive, um, being a mama's boy, let my feelings see. Cause if you being raised by men in a sense teach you a sense of reason. See, cause that's what I learned in the penitentiary. See, cause I didn't have no man to teach me. I learned that in the penitentiary around them other men, a sense of boundaries. See, cause when you get around other men give you a sense of boundaries. See, ain't no talking tough in the penitentiary. Ain't no talking tough and then going to get your gun and settling that cause I can't handle with these, so let me go get this. In the penitentiary, you better shut up. You better keep your mouth or put them up. Either or. Them the rules in there, or get you a blade. See, when you get inside in there, it's around other men. Other men give other men the perimeters in terms of operation. That's when I knew I couldn't violate other because I was in a sense of trying to manhandle somebody. Yeah, you see, it's other places where you can get manhandled. You know, it's guys bigger than you, tougher than you. You know, especially when you run into one of them guys, man, that's been down 20 some odd years, bro. You know, some of the biggest human beings I'd have never seen in my life has been in the penitentiary. You know, 6'7", 6'8", 300 and some odd pounds. I forgot this brother name from Cleveland, man. Big brother. I'm talking about this brother was a monster. And when he and I swear he man, I know it had to be 600 and some odd pounds on that bench. The bars was bending over when he got up under there and got to throwing that mess up. You know what I'm saying? But I was in an honor camp. See, in them honor camps, you going home. Everybody ain't nothing about to go down in an honor camp. Everybody within 3 years of going home. So that's fun. Now if you in stockade inside the wall where them dudes got a fresh 20 years, oh, that's a different story, bro. I ain't been in them different stories. You know, you got a different story in that situation. You talking tough and running around, think you tough. Yeah. See, the penitentiary, one thing the penitentiary teach a motherfucker, ain't no sitting around no men sitting around a man farting and shit and thinking that's cute. You know, passing gas all out loud and giggling. You know what I mean? Somebody gonna check you on that, you know? But the thing is for me, man, these brothers, a lot of them being raised by these single mothers, and you can't tell them nothing. They sensitive. You know what I'm saying? Then on being sensitive, they think they have to prove their manhood. They tough. You know? One of the questions I say is where's your daddy? You know, who is your father? You know, that's we because the keep going because man, you'll have brothers in this city or be in this city and won't see their children, man, and probably hadn't seen their children in 1 or 2, 3 years, a couple months. That's unacceptable. If your child live in this city, man, you should see that child at least once a week. You know, you should be spending time. You should be spending time at least 20 hours trying to get 20 hours a week in with your child if they don't live with you. Hopefully you can get them on the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. You know, but one of the things that had plagued me growing up was definitely growing up without a father. You know, I can say that was one of the things as I look back in terms of not having all the tools in the toolbox. You know, not having all my tools in the toolbox. You know, because you got to have self restraint. You know, there's a thing of being um, accountability. You know, um, being responsible. You know, them the things that I truly believe fathers give their and mothers definitely give their children, but coming from dad and seeing a father work, you know, seeing a father get up and make an effort every day, you know what I mean, I think is real important, you know. But some of the things that this podcast we definitely gonna be focusing on, man, is some of the shit that's going on in our community. One of the things that took place within this school year, they saying is that it's been a poor performance all across the board with third graders in their reading proficiencies scores. Guess they did real poor this year, and it's a high there's a high number of them that might have to repeat the third grade because with the reading guaranteed, if you don't pass the two tests that's required, you don't move on to the fourth grade. And so in our community, there's a lot of third graders that have to go to summer school, and during summer school, um, they have to pass this test. And I guess you saying Lee, why you talking about, you know, why the two Lee do talking about a third grade reading scores or the third graders going to summer school. Some of the things that I learned when I was in penitentiary, man, about, and this is then, and they didn't did studies on it now, but I had heard the rumors then that if you didn't know how to read by the time you was in the third grade or leaving the third grade, there was a high chance that you would find yourself in the penitentiary. And so I say that because state legislators are looking to pass or overturn that guarantee or overturn some of the policies or some of the rules of the third grade reading guarantee. Because, like I said, in that guarantee, if you didn't pass them two tests, you didn't move on to the fourth grade. Well, there's a bill. I think it's Bill 117 that's up in the House now. That wants to change that. You know, they just wanna if you don't pass the test, they gonna say, okay, well, okay, don't worry about it. You can still go to the fourth grade. We'll just get you next time in the fifth grade. You know, there, that's the accountability. That's the thing is that's stuck in stone for us to make. I mean, for the for the state to say to look at that because the state of Ohio is one of the is a state that has a lot of penitentiaries, and they done studies and they know about that third grade. That's why the state of Ohio had the third grade guaranteed because they know the prison. I mean the school to the prison. I mean school to prison pipeline. You know they know that they've been studying that. And so the state passed legislator in 2012, I think, with this guarantee or this state testing to help third graders meet the requirements so they won't because here's the thing. There's people who are in the business of prison and they look at those statistics. They look at the reading scores of third graders and they predict their future beds or predict future beds from those scores. That's why I'm bringing it up. It's all about the money, but it's about prison and it's about saving our kids because our kids is being placed in a situation where ain't nobody is coming to their defense. Ain't nobody waving, and it's only a few people that's waving for these kids. I deal with the kids, man. I got a grandson and grandchildren or whatever that I'm actively involved in and things of that nature. And so and I only say that because I see his friends and my granddaughters, I see their friends, you know, and I see where, you know, it's you know, they could be I see where it's lacking in some of those kids' lives, you know, and I only say that because I try to be you know I try to be a good brother, man, and help out when I see kids that's you know I come on the block and cause my grandson there, it'll be 4 or 5 kids there. It's time to eat, and I know we about to go eat, and Stelly ain't going, man. I go up to the street, grab 3, 4 boxes, 5 boxes of Little Caesars, and come back and just and well, look, man, we gonna eat Little Caesars now, cause I'm looking at the kids that he's hanging around with, in some cases, and shit, they look like a couple of them look like they might need a meal, or like you know. Or I do it in most cases, man. I do it to show them that that there's good brothers out here. I also do it to try to tilt the scales of justice of some of the wrong I did by doing some right by some other people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm constantly in that battle of trying to renew myself, trying to just tilt the scale, you know, trying to get better, you know, trying to not do no wrong, you know. But this is the podcast, man. This your boy E. Ali, the Thule Do. Too little to do anything, you know. Pothole Capital USA, 45 minutes out of Detroit, Michigan, man. That's what it is. We trying to make this thing pop. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm optimistic. You know what I mean? I'm futuristic too. I'm a dreamer. So I see the vision. I see where I'm going with this. You know what I mean? I have an ideal of what I'm trying to do. So it's not on you guys or none of that. It's all for me. You know what I mean? I have right here in my hand the obituary of my father. So and as I'm looking at the camera, I'm constantly looking at his obituary. You know what I mean? And so And I say that to say that I'm trying to I'm in a race to outdo to take the baton and take it further. So this is my journey. You know what I mean? I'm just allowing you guys in to see this process. You know what I mean? But for the most part, until things change, I'm gonna make an effort, a positive effort, every Thursday, roughly about 7 o'clock, anywhere from between 7 and 9 o'clock, till I really get a real time frame down. Summertime in the summertime, I guess it's not. I mean, it'd be a little bit more difficult. I guess more or less in the fall and the winter, when things slow down a little bit, you able to plan and do things a little bit more sufficiency, a little bit more sufficient. But right now, at the present, my ideal is to always pop off for probably about 9 o'clock, roughly about 7, 8 o'clock. I'll see, test the market, see how it go. We got some other things coming with this show, man. I got a young lady that's gonna help out with this show, with a segment of the show, bottom of the glass, where we'd be doing some of her cocktails, some food, things of that nature, some things she got going with. She a good she crafty with making dipping sauce, syrup, and shit like that out of Hennessy. So it's a couple things from there. We got a couple guys, man, that's doing some things. You know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to be hooking up with getting my publishing together with my mans and them. So hopefully we can make those connections and things of that nature to bring forth. It's a lot of little things that has to be done. And I'm learning the process. It's kind of new. We never grew up, or in this area we never had digital media or commentator schools or uh, uh, curriculum that put you in them kind of situations. So my thing is just coming off the fly. I got a lot of charisma just in myself. I've never been afraid to talk. You know what I'm saying? Um, I have a unique perspective, I think. So with that being said, I just hope that I'm able to contain that, package it, you know what I mean, and create a product. For the most part, like I said, I'm going to focus on, cause that single mother, and it's not just a single mother. It's mainly that child, that the young man that's growing up in that situation, to be able to say something to him or to her, or to say something to her that she might be able to take to him. You know what I mean? Because it's a few books that I'll be bringing on, a few topics that we gonna be going on. Like, this is kind of sporadic for this episode, but the thing is that we working on um, having a format, a topic. You know what I mean? Having the intro, the body, and then the outro of that. Today was just more or less, or the few shows, or this show and the next show will be more or less a thing of just getting familiar with me. Asking who, what, where, why, and when. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, Things of that nature. So that's what this whole thing is about, man. Just trying to be positive in a sense where that I can help somebody out. You know what I'm saying? Because it's some things that we need to do as a community, or not as a community, just as for ourselves. You know what I mean? And I'm seeing, like, one of the things that's really been bothering me, out just in general with the city, man. It's like our work ethic, our work ethics. Not encouraging the kids to take some of these menial jobs, restaurant jobs, McDonald's, Taco Bell, and things of that nature. At 16, like it was big when we was growing up. At 16, 15, man, to work with pick, to try to work at McDonald's, because we wanted to be fly. We was the first kids that was inspired to be fly. The Jordans, the Levi's, the Kangos, and all that. That first wave of hip hop era of trying to have that swag that came from us. You know what I mean? That's why y'all with the swag that y'all get now and all that. That shit come from my era. You know, the Run DMC, the LL Cool J's, and all that era. That's when that swaggo came. So, yeah, man. With that, like I say, I'm always trying to better myself, man. I walk out the house every day and with a serious thought of just trying to make it back home safely. Not trying to offend nobody. I don't want no problems. I put that gangster shit. These guys think that shit is tough. That shit is for the birds, B. Like I say, I done seen some places they'll lock you down and all that tough shit don't mean shit. You be wanting your mama. You know what I'm saying? It get that serious where you want your mama. So for me, man, it's just like just trying to stay positive in them notes. Trying to keep a real general sense of, I mean, not a real, just trying to always be informed, always being coachable, always showing respect, always saying what's on your mind. And I feel as though if you do that and always consider somebody else's feelings. When you about to say something, consider if it might hurt their feelings. If it might hurt their feelings, consider that. That don't mean you have to do it. Consider that man's feelings, man. That's all we ask you to do. But this is your boy, man, E.I. Lee, in the Thule Do. 45 minutes out of Toledo, 45 minutes out of Detroit, Michigan. I'm your host, E.I. Lee, out of the Thule Do, the podcast. This is your boy. Yeah, we here, man, in the building. Just talking about the topics. Right now, we've been talking a few things. We hit it on, gave you a little insight of my life and how I come up to this point. Trying to, like I said, it was a time where I made a commitment at age 15 to give myself to the streets. And Toledo has always been a place that encouraged young folks to make a commitment to the streets. We don't have nothing bigger. We don't, we need organizations. We need people, family. We need churches. We need businesses to be in solidarity with one another, to place more value on life in their lives, the young lives, that they won't make a commitment to these streets. You need something bigger than yourself. You need a not just bigger than yourself, you need a support group. You need people that when you about to turn left and you supposed to be going right, they stopping you from going left. Like, hey man, ain't you supposed to be going over there? Like Toledo don't have Toledo never in a sense had, at least in my circle and as a broad, it's certain individuals that have those individuals that's help guiding, but as a broad sense, it's easy for kids to get lost in these streets. It is glorified. The streets is glorified here than anywhere else. These streets here is glorified, and for somebody to make a commitment for the streets of Toledo and don't never leave Toledo, that's sad. To never had a chance to leave Toledo before you, and you'd have made a commitment to the streets, that's a sad case. We need our fathers. You know, that school that school to prison pipeline is real. You gotta teach your child how to read before they leave the third grade, or the odds is stacked against you. There's somebody planning for your child to be on a prison bunk if your child don't know how to read by the third grade. You can be out there partying, doing all that shit that you think is cool, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 2 years from now. Because if your child is 1, 2 years from now, your child, or no, what's the third grade? What third, fifth? So a seventh, eighth grade, seventh or eighth, your child need to know how to read. You know, I was a poor reader in school. You know, I used to have the girls in like seventh grade when I thought I was cool. Seventh, eighth grade, I used to have E E E E Rock was in the E Rocker them was in the back. Uh, uh, Stephen Jones, April Pierce, all them was my home girls, man. You know, they helped the brother out during them years of the difficulty times of pronouncing some of them words. You know what I mean? Sitting back, whispering them, saying them, to get me through there. It was brutal, but nevertheless, that I didn't get better or didn't make a strong positive effort into the schooling until I got to the penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? I received my GED, came home from the penitentiary. I obtained my associate's degree. I have a two year degree, associate's degree from Owens Community College in law enforcement technology. I had aspirations to be a counselor. To try to help out young brothers before they make the commitment to the streets. You know, um, I went to Owens, like I said, graduated, got several credit towards my bachelor, but then life hit, man. Just trying to get serious with had with grandbabies and things of that nature. So always, man, trying to do better. We gotta do. You can only do better if you know better. So hopefully you can know better to do better. So we all in the process to know better. My thing is, man, take life one day at a time. Watch what you say. Understand that words create, they save and destroy. You know what I'm saying? And that's the one thing that I want to leave you guys with tonight. I appreciate y'all joining in with me, man. You know, this your boy E.I. Lee in the Thule Do. 45 minutes out of Detroit, Michigan, Pothole, USA. You know, we gonna get this thing right, man. We gonna cruise. We gonna cruise. This a journey. This a life journey. You know what I mean? I got a process within 3 years, man. I'll be one of the coldest boys at this podcast thing, as I just develop my approach, my conversation. You know what I mean? Little innuendos and things of that nature. As I constantly crack the seals of those books and be able to bring forth and kick some of that knowledge as well. Bible verses and things of that nature. You know, to get crafty in that area, to be able to have my prompt right here, to be able to have it set up nice where I'll be able to see it behind me. So when I say it, I'm looking at the camera, looking focused at you guys, and I'll be able to say it with the, so that's gonna happen. That's gonna be developed. You know, we got a angle, excuse me. We have a direction in which we're going. This is a journey. This is a marathon. This is not a race. So I'm putting together the building blocks right now, man. Each one teach one. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. This your boy E.I. Lee, man. In the Thule Do. This the final word. Holla at your boy. Peace.